welcome back to the Football Friday podcast presented by Football Fever. We've got a big discussion today, and it's going to be all based around who is the best Premier League youngster / wonder kid right now. We'll be talking about who's performing the best currently over this season, who's maybe overperforming, who's got the most potential. So we're only going to narrow it down to just Premier League, obviously, because we could go on forever and ever if we did everywhere in the world. But it's me, Jacob, and Zach again. If you want to see another guest, let us know. And to start off, we've got a bit of news, a bit of an incident involving Matt Ritchie. So he's apologised over a following training ground dispute with Steve Bruce. Bruce has then gone on to say in an interview, it was Ritchie's fault for the last goal Newcastle conceded. So I think what the story is Ritchie's come on as a substitute and he's lost his man, and they've scored from that. I'm not sure if any of you two have seen it, but
yeah,
I mean,
no.
It's quite harsh, I think, even if it is his fault, to say in an interview, yeah, it's his fault, or saying, I can't remember what he worded it like. He said he hadn't understood the tactics as quickly as he should, or something like that, and so they conceded from it, within minutes of him coming on.
Yeah,
but it's been a bit of an up and down season for him, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I think obviously Newcastle aren't really looking amazing recently, and feel like, well, they're getting brought into a bit of a relegation battle, because I mean, and if Bruce is saying that about his players to the media, I mean, it could be a long way for the rest of the season for Newcastle. But I don't know. I think obviously they'll probably both apologise to each other, just talking to each other at the training ground or something. But I don't know. I suppose we'll just have to see how this will go. But
yeah, well, he has actually been linked with Bournemouth, I think I saw the other day. I don't know if because of the argument or what, but yeah, it's definitely interesting. And like you pointed out to me, Jacob, a few days, I think it was you, said there's only 11 games of the season left or something like that.
Yeah.
Which has gone mad. This season's gone so fast. I mean, obviously 11 games is quite a lot, but when you're playing 2 games a week, it won't take that long, to be honest. How long? 5-6 weeks till the season's over. And but yeah, I guess keep staying on the topic of Newcastle. Do you think Newcastle will go down? I mean, it's very strange.
Start of the season and most of up to January, I wouldn't have said they would have gone down, but most recently, I mean, they're definitely in a battle. I think for me, it's between them and Fulham.
What do you think, Zach?
I think that they will stay up, but I think Steve Bruce will still get the sack no matter what, because it's been a very disappointing season for them.
Yeah. They did all right last season, I thought. And then they obviously... Well, no, I say the only club that's had a good season this season is obviously Man City, and even they started off pretty poorly. But it's been a rollercoaster of a season, and for neutrals, it seems very entertaining. But then next up, we've got Steven Gerrard was sent off after appealing against a penalty with Rangers. Alfredo Morelos was taken down by the keeper, but the referee gave Morelos a yellow card for diving. Now, I don't know if you two have seen this, boys, but in my opinion, I think it was a penalty. It showed different angles, and some angles looked like it wasn't a penalty. Some, obviously, there was one angle, I think it was behind the keeper, which showed he'd brought him down. But obviously, it's one of those where... Do they have VAR in Scotland? I'm not too sure about that.
No, they don't.
So I'm sure VAR would have overturned it, but it's sort of one of those where there's contact, but I don't know if there's enough to go down. But in the modern day, it is a penalty because obviously attackers do tend to, dive, or if they feel contact, they will go down to a penalty. But obviously, Gerrard being a new manager, I don't think he's even the most, what should we say, the most
Experienced
manager. That's it. Even most experienced managers get sent off in football games for complaining. But I guess Gerrard is inexperienced, and that'll improve as he's a manager, with how to deal with his, I wouldn't say anger, but his opinion on the referee.
Yeah. Like the limit he can go to say to the referee.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Because he actually got a yellow card, and then he carried on going and got another yellow card, which is, I mean, I found that quite weird how he would carry on. Obviously, I know he thought it was a penalty, and Rangers did go on to win the game at the end, 1-0. But I'm sure
it was obviously like a bit like angry with the referee, because I wonder, like, because obviously none of us watched the whole game, but I wonder, like, the whole game, if there was always like some dodgy calls from the referee, and it just wasn't down to that one decision.
Well, to be fair, this could even be a new topic for a future podcast. But the referees in England's got. I've heard the Scottish referees aren't the greatest either, but especially in the referees in the Premier League have been getting a lot of stick recently. I guess and in the lower leagues in England, but some of the decisions he's been making are appalling, I have to admit. And obviously, it's coming down to, it's not. I think at the start of the season, obviously it was on VAR, but like obviously they're making the wrong decisions. But now more referees are going over to the screen at the side of the pitch and still getting the calls wrong. Obviously, it's causing a lot of debate. And yeah, if you want to see us talk about refereeing decisions and what's gone wrong, let us know. And the final topic before the main one is there's been a new change to the handball law. Previously, if the ball hit the player's hand leading up to a goal, the goal would have been disallowed. But now the IFAB have changed the law so that accidental handballs that lead to a goal or a teammate scoring a goal will no longer be classed as an offence. This rule changed after an incident in the Fulham game yesterday. Obviously, I've only seen pictures of this. I think you two have as well, or Zach might have seen the video. I'm not sure. But is this a good change, or is it? Well, I think it is a good rule. Like, obviously, unintentional handballs, I think they'll still base it on where the hand is. But if your hand is by your side and the ball hits you, obviously you can't do anything about that. But the one thing I don't kind of agree with is changing rules halfway through the season. Like, I think back to Firmino's goal Firmino's handball against Tottenham. Obviously that got disallowed because of a handball a minute earlier in the attack. So, I mean, I don't agree with changing rules halfway through the season. But go on, what were you saying, Jacob?
Well, just give me a second.
But what do you think then, Zach? If changing rules halfway through a season, or
I mean, I think it's only really necessary to change rules halfway through a season if it's like something like really dramatic that certainly needs to be changed right away. Like rules like this, they should be just like kept when it's just like halfway through the season. By the start of the season, I thought they should have changed it then, like what they did with the handball rule. I think if they keep changing it over and over again, the referees won't know what they're doing. And
it's the idea of consistency in the refereeing decisions as well. Obviously, ever since VAR's come in, like the rules have been, or the opinions on referees have got a bit more heated. People disagreeing because obviously they have no excuse to say, I couldn't properly see the tackle, I couldn't see if it hit his hand for a handball. But then VAR's come in. Obviously, you look at the tight offsides, with all the lines in. So I think VAR, it has potential to be good, but at the start of the season, I think I'm the same as everyone. Everyone was hating on VAR, but I think more recently it's been the referees. But go on, Jacob. What were you going to say before?
So I was going to say, they should have got the decision right from the start.
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't have changed it all them times, but they should have had it right from the start. I mean, we had a whole summer to plan it out since the season, how it's going to work and everything. But it's just not been obviously very good recently. But I suppose we'll have to see from now.
Yeah,
to the
it's not
future.
even been the first rule they've changed this season, which it is. I don't know. I just don't agree that they're changing it halfway through, because obviously it looked like if, say, Liverpool are well, obviously I know Liverpool won the Tottenham game, but say they didn't, and it was because of that goal got disallowed, and they were 3 points off Champions League or whatever, and then they changed the rule about a month later. Obviously, I don't think that's fair, but
Yeah.
But I don't know. Obviously, they've changed it. I think it is a good change, but they probably should have waited till the end of the season, with the idea of consistency always running around.
Yeah.
But now I think it's time to move on to why you've all clicked on this podcast, and it is discussing who the best youngster in the Premier League is right now. Obviously, we'll be talking about the best performing right now. Obviously, who's got like the most average rating in the Premier League, who's got the most potential. Obviously, the one who's starring at the moment is Curtis Jones, I'd say, starring for Liverpool. So he's been one of the most standout performances over the last month for Liverpool. But obviously, there's likes of Phil Foden, Saka, Greenwood, Fofana, Mezia, Lamptey, all performing extremely well in the Premier League. Have you got any preferences, boys? Obviously, I know Jacob will like Mezia as a Leeds player.
But yeah, personally,
yeah,
in my opinion, I would say obviously I would say Mezia is the best young goalkeeper in the league right now.
Yeah.
Well, he is the youngest, but I would say like the three most like players that you see, maybe not on the score sheet, but like names that you hear and are doing the best at the moment is probably Curtis Jones, Foden, and I would say Saka.
Yeah. Well,
and to fair, Neto's been very key for Wolves recently.
Yeah, he's stepped up since Jota's left.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, there's lots more names that we haven't mentioned, but I would agree with Jacob that they are probably the most heard of, like, main three. I'd say, obviously, Phil Foden and Curtis Jones are kind of similar.
Yeah.
And obviously, a lot of the names we mentioned, or all those three, are actually English as well, which is good for
was
the
good to
future
see.
of England. And then we have discussed it before, but do you? Well, you've mentioned Saka as one of in your top three, Jacob. But do you see him making the England squad number one? Number two, do you see him staying at Arsenal or going somewhere maybe bigger? And do you see him playing as a left back, left wing back, or a left midfielder? Three things to think about.
So first, I think I do see him staying at Arsenal for quite a bit, but I don't think he'll have his whole career at Arsenal. I don't think he'll move to another Premier League club though.
Yeah.
Maybe if you asked me this last year, there might have been a chance, but I don't know. I just see like a foreign team coming from like later on in his career. And what were the other question, dear? What position?
Yeah, what position?
He's very good attacker. His defensive needs to be worked on if he wants to play as a left back. But as a winger, left midfielder, whatever. I feel, in my opinion, that's his best position because he can like run at defenders and like show his ability on the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I've agreed with everything you've said so far. Obviously,
Yeah,
if Saka is to play a bit more defensive, left wing back is more suited for him.
Yeah.
But I do prefer him to see left mid, left wing. Obviously, he's played right mid as well. Obviously, he does bring a lot: pace, acceleration, good feet, good dribbling. But what about you, Zach? Who would your top three from the Premier League youngsters be?
I think it's the same as Jacob, really. Well, I just think Curtis Jones, during this really tough Liverpool period, is one of the worst seasons that they've had under Jurgen Klopp. Well, I wouldn't say they performed poorly, but it's the worst season under Jurgen Klopp, maybe. Curtis Jones has really shown, whatever, and become a key part to Liverpool. And I think so that itself just deserves him to be in the top three. being an integral part of the Liverpool first team squad. I think Phil Foden has been the same with City, but they're having a really good season, and he's managed to work his way to the first team.
I would say he's replaced David Silva quite nicely.
Yeah. I think with Saka, he's just proved that he has so much potential, and he has carried Arsenal at times this season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a massive fan of Saka. I see he was linked with Liverpool as well. A bit ago, but obviously, my main three is probably going to be the exact same. But this has come to my mind. Do you think we should build the best 11 of youngsters, say under 21s?
Yeah, we could do.
Goal,
yeah.
Say we'd have Meslier, right back.
I think he's the only.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, with the amount of game time he's been getting as well. Say he did move to say he was playing for Chelsea or Tottenham or someone like that. Obviously, he wouldn't play. He might have a future there.
But he might have a chance in Chelsea's team. How their goalkeepers are playing recently.
But I'd say right back. Obviously, Trent is very young, but no one classes him as a
I don't think he's
youngster. So I'd say Lamptey. Would you? Tarek Lamptey?
Yeah, Lamptey.
Well, is Reese James classed as a youngster, or is he also classed as?
True.
That is true.
Well, that's a debate. Would you rather have Lamptey, or would you rather have Reese James?
I think Reese James. See, Lamptey just works so hard.
Yeah.
One part you see him at right back, and then he's chasing their centre backs down. Love to see, but Reese James is such because he's young, he does make some mistakes here and there, but he's reliable.
Yeah.
So I suppose it's a tough one. But I think I would just be edging Reese James.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm actually, I'd probably say Lamptey, to be honest. I'm actually a fan, obviously, with the way Liverpool play as well, with attacking fullbacks. He would actually be a good fit. Obviously, he won't join because of Trent there. But I do like how he plays. Very fast. Always looking to attack. But like you said, Reece James, I think, has the edge defensively. Maybe if you were looking at playing him right wing back, I think he's definitely a lot better for playing there.
Yeah.
But, so Zach, I think it's down to you. I voted for Lamptey. Jacob's voted for Reece James. Who are you going to decide to go in our starting 11?
It's very mixed, but I think I'm going to have to go Reece James because I think he's definitely better now. Well, it's actually quite tough. And just think the way he's actually really good defensively. Better than Lamptey. So I'd go with Reece James. But going forward, maybe Lamptey's better.
Well, left back.
Are we classing Saka as a left back or as a winger? That's the thing.
Well, I think we should put him as a winger since we said he's probably better off as a winger. But left back, I'm trying to think. I don't. Can we class Tierney as a?
Nah, I would say Tierney's just edging the old.
Maybe even Lamptey, because Lamptey's actually played left back a few times for Brighton. We could even play him as a left back.
Or James Justin from Leicester.
Oh yeah.
I guess he would be, but if we're saying he's too old, is he 22, 23? So
yeah.
So we'd put either James Justin or Lamptey left back, and then centre backs. Ampadu
Fofana
is a shout, and Fofana probably.
I won't put Ampadu in.
Who would you say?
I
think Fofana.
I don't think he's been amazing this season. Ampadu. Fofana definitely.
Yeah.
It is a tough one. I'm just trying to think of everyone's age.
I'd say one that's definitely a shout. Obviously, he's definitely not been one of the best in the league, but Reese Williams stepping up. especially being on loan at Kidderminster last year to playing Champions League football. I think he's there.
I
He's a
wouldn't.
shout, but
Yeah, I won't put him. I won't put him in because he's not like he's made a couple of mistakes here and there.
yeah.
There's got to be someone who we're just missing.
Ozan Kabak, maybe.
Oh, he's only played.
He's
4
not
or
played
5
enough. I would say.
games.
Oh, come on. It's hard actually because
Yeah. Well, maybe this should be left down to you guys listening. If you listen to on YouTube, you can comment below saying my young centre back to partner for Fana would be, and then obviously whoever you think. And I'll say we move on to the midfielders, and then at the end, obviously, if we think of a centre back, we can put him in. But should we go with 4-3-3 midfielders? Obviously, Curtis Jones and Phil Foden, and anyone
confirmed.
who you think who should be the one to partner them?
Would you class Declan Rice as young?
It is a good shout, to be fair,
Yeah,
and that would be
he's good,
and that would be a good partnership as well because Declan Rice can like sit a bit deeper, and then like Foden and Jones can.
There is another one, but he's very attacking still. Mason Mount.
Yeah, when the thing with Mason Mount is when he's good, he's very, if that makes sense. When he like plays well in a game, he's very good.
Yeah.
But it's not like very good consistently. I would say with the other two midfielders. But in a game.
I'd put Rice in just because of the more balanced midfield, the more defensive. Curtis Jones more box to box, and obviously Foden more attacking. And then the front three. So we're saying Saka on the left. Right wing, would you put Martinelli?
Are we doing it off this season or if like just who?
I say this season or
don't. If we do it off the season, don't put Martin. He's not played enough.
Yeah. Obviously, Greenwood had a good season last season, but
this season is not.
Season.
Ferran Torres from Man City is decent.
That could be a shout. Obviously, if Harvey Elliott was in the Premier League, he'd definitely. Yeah.
He could class him as Premier League, playing for Liverpool, but on loan. Hudson-Odoi.
He's another one that's been a bit like in and out.
Wait, Pedro Neto, and then you play
Pedro Neto,
Saka on the right.
Oh yeah, Neto.
Saka on the right.
Yeah, that would be a good shout. And then probably the most exciting one, the striker. Who would you say has been the best young striker of the season? Obviously, Fabio Silva came in with high expectations. He's only young, but would you say he's been the best young striker?
No.
Obviously, Brewster's there, but he hasn't played. There's also been.
It's got to be. Oh.
If only Bamford was young.
Jesus.
It's hard.
Striker. I'd say Tammy Abraham's like with Trent and stuff. He's just probably a little bit.
Yeah.
Nketiah, but again, he does well in games. He just doesn't get goals, and with a striker, you do need to get goals.
Yeah.
Greenwood, you could maybe class as a striker. He can play there.
Yeah, but he's just not. Again, this season has not been getting enough goals. I'd say. I don't know. It's hard, really.
Yeah.
But going back to midfield, I've just thought of the name. I mean, I wouldn't say he's been he's not been as good as any other midfielder, but he could have been a contender. Coming up from the Championship, Eze
Yeah,
has
that's
come
a
up.
good
Oh,
shout.
Watkins.
Yeah.
No, it was that Watkins is a bit too old.
But this might have to be another
Watkins
one.
is 25.
Oh, I thought it was quite young.
This might obviously Calvert-Lewin. He's old. He's a bit older than the others. Boy, he could be a shout. But I think there might be another one that we have to leave to you guys. But I think we've definitely got some good foundations to a squad here. And obviously, if these all reach their potential that they can reach, I think there's going to be some amazing players in the Premier League. Obviously, like you look at Harvey Elliott, who's in a Championship, players that could come through next season. Be quite interesting to do this again next season. So let us know if you want to see us do that. I'm sure the majority of the team will be the same, but obviously there'll be a few new faces. But if you have enjoyed, subscribe on YouTube if you listen to this on there. If you listen to Spotify or anywhere else, just thanks for watching. Check any of the other podcasts from the previous weeks out, and we'll see you next Friday at 5 p.m. See ya.
Peace.
See ya. Yeah, peace.